Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jeanne. I'm a yoga teacher, and today's subject, I'm going to talk about twists. It's such an important topic. It's one of the main movements your spine can do. So we're going to first cover a bit of a theory, and then I'm going to try to be as exhaustive as possible and cover as many possible twists as possible in all the different positions. So get ready, it's going to twist today. Okay. So what is a twist? It's when the shoulders and the hips are not parallel anymore. So we're going to start standing and we're going to make our way down. So we can decide to first keep the hips in this position, and then the shoulders are going to come perpendicular to the hips. The trick is, most people, when I ask them to do that, what I see is, yes, okay, I do it. Can you see the problem? Well, so try to bend slightly in your knees. It's going to help neutralize your pelvis, so it doesn't have the, it's still going to be wanting to follow the shoulders, because most of the time when we turn with whole body, but try to actually send your pelvis the other way of your shoulders. So you can send the hips like this and the upper body the other way. This is more accurate and more of a twist even than if you do, well, definitely this. This is not a twist. And if you do this, you're not going to go as far as you can. So go ahead, try it. I hope you feel it. We're going to do so many more options anyways. The other possibility in a standing position is you keep your shoulders in their position and the hips are twisting. For that, I have a very fun exercise. You keep your upper arms along the body, so the elbows stay close to the body. You spread your fingers wide, and you're going to touch the opposite knee and hand without moving the hands, obviously. Can you see that it's really turning my hips, but my shoulders are staying facing toward the class or the mirror or the screen? Try it. It takes a bit of time. If you put your hands too far, it's impossible. And also what I see is sometimes people do like this and they move the hand. The idea is you put your hands at an acceptable level, something that is possible for you to reach, and you twist like this. But this is almost too easy. You see? Well, I didn't do this one properly. But okay, I guess you have the idea. Then what we can do is sitting on a chair. This is the magic of editing. A chair can appear like this. So a twist on a chair, you want to keep your spine straight, okay? If you're sitting like this on a chair, not good. Nobody is ever going to tell you it's good enough, at least. So you lengthen the spine. I'm going to repeat that a few times today. And you bring both your hands to the left, let's say. So the right hand is pushing on the outside of your thigh, and the left hand is grabbing the back of the chair. If you have a better chair than this, because there's a hole inside on the back, it's even easier to catch the side. You can try to catch the other side. You can try to catch the top here. But you see, if I do this, my left shoulder comes up towards the ear, and the head is going like this. Although what we need to do is keep the head in the alignment of the spine, and we twist, we turn, and from there we can go further. And a bit more. And on the exhale, you realize that you can push even further by pushing on the outside of the thigh, and the hand on the chair is actually pressing as well, like this. I hope you can see and feel by yourself by trying it at the same time. Always do it one way and then the other. It's, yeah, it just makes sense, but you know, when you fold a piece of paper and you actually want to bring it back to its initial full capacity, the easiest to go back to the initial nature, it's to fold it the other way around. So yeah, I mean, food for thought. So let's twist the other way. Maybe you can see better with me twisting that side. So on the inhale, you lengthen the spine, and on the exhale, you push the hand on the outside of the thigh, and you push on the outside of the chair. Whatever you can catch. If you catch this, it's even better. You see the shoulder here is coming down when I catch something lower. If I catch something too high, I'll have a tendency to bring the shoulder closer to your ear. So like this, it's good. And it's the eyes that help lead the way towards the direction in which you're going. Also, the breath, super important. When you inhale, you lengthen the spine. On the exhale, you can go further. Because when you exhale, the air inside your belly, like the diaphragm goes up. So all the organs, they come in and your belly flattens. So you have more space to turn. If the belly is full, it's much harder to twist than if it's empty. So on the exhale, it's a bit counterintuitive. That's why I'm going to insist a bit more today on this. But when you exhale, you actually go further. On the inhale, you make sure that the position of your spine is correct and erect, because that's the healthiest for your spine. Let me show you something. If you have the spine is not straight, if it's like crooked slightly, and you want to twist on that, it hurts, right? Whereas if it's really straight, it's not going to be so painful, and it feels a lot healthier to do that twist. I hope it's clear. Okay. After the chair, what we can do is standing. Spread your feet apart, hands on the hips. You come down, one hand on the floor. Let me teach you the proper way. First, you use a block, okay? If you're not touching the floor, you use the highest level of the block. If this is too high, it's the right height when the upper body is 90 degrees from your legs. So right now, this is too high for me. I have short legs. I'm quite flexible. I open the feet quite wide. So is this one good? Well, I could still use this one. And here, I press the floor, and I'm in a good position. But I could even open more the legs, and now it's better without the block completely. When you open the legs like this, you keep your feet parallel to each other, because if you open like this, it's not good for your knees, okay? And to protect even more your knees, what you can do is bring your big toes even more inside, okay? Make sure that you put the weight of your body equally on each of your foot, and on the toes as much as on the heels, as much on the outside of the feet. If you put weight only like more on one side or only on the heels, and you can lift the toes, you're not balanced. Like, it's putting too much pressure on your ankles, actually. So let's say you have the block at the level you need to. You can press the floor or the block with one hand only, and the other one comes up, and you look at your thumb on top. You see, it's a beautiful figure. And but if the spine is not at 90 degrees, one problem you can encounter is, imagine it's like this. Not straight, it's not good. Otherwise, if it's too high, it's not good either. If it's too low, very bad also. So really find the right position and adapt with your props. Always do the second side, and you can explore here. On the exhale, you open up the shoulder. Very good. And slowly you come back. Hands on the hips, you come up. Okay. Bring the feet back together. Also, on standing on the feet, there is the warrior, right? So let's say warrior 1 or high lunge. I prefer high lunge for my knee. So keep your hips and shoulders facing first. You inhale, bring your hands up, and from there you can twist, right? But you keep your hips forward. If the hips follow, this is warrior 2. So this is warrior 1. This is warrior 1 with a twist. This is warrior 2. Warrior 2 with a twist would be like this, because the hips and the shoulders are perpendicular to each other. They're not parallel anymore. This is reverse. This is not twist. That could be also a twist, right? From warrior 2. So from warrior 1, correct the hips and the shoulders facing, and twist one side, but twist also the other side. It's not as easy. I'm sure you know. So warrior 2, I covered. Warrior 3, half moon, it's the same idea, but you add the balancing component to it. And then, well, you have all the low lunge and lizard, where you can also twist from there. I invite you to try it for yourself and with your students if you're a teacher, because whether you put your hand inside here or outside, it's not the same feeling at all. And yeah, it's a good challenge, let's say. Okay, after the standing positions, we are ready, if you want to follow me, to sit. Let's sit on the mat. And from there, you know, we have all the positions of the leg possible. So let's start with the legs straight like this. Well, you can always twist like this. You can also have one knee open like this to the side. So keep your hips forward and then twist, right? You can keep the knee up and twist. You can cross the leg over the other one. Inhale, lengthen the spine and twist. I'm sure you see where we're going, because we can do Lord of the Fish. That's one of the classic yoga postures. So same, you twist one side, the other side, both are available, as long as you keep your spine straight. If you have a beginner's class or if you're a beginner, I suggest you don't start right away with this one. Much better to start like this or like that. By the way, for this one, if you place that foot against the inside of the thigh, it's not going to be a balanced position, because the body parts in touch with the floor, the hip bones, the sitting bones, right? And the heel. So both heels should be at the same distance with the sitting bones. So if it's too much open, your hips are going to follow naturally. If it's like this, the spine is not going to stay straight. Hence, that cueing of saying, when you do a twist from here, first you keep this, the toes here straight and the foot flex. It helps to engage the straight leg. And the heel is in front of the sitting bone. So more or less close to the sitting bone. That I don't really care. You can do the twist even better if it's not too close to the sitting bone. But if it's too much inside, it's pressing even the groin, it's not comfortable, it means it shouldn't be done like this. That's what it means. Okay, let me try this side. Let's see if I forget something. I'm giving you a couple of minutes where I'm doing also the other side by myself. If I think of something else, I will tell you. So you can cross also. And Lord of the Fish. Yeah, Lord of the Fish is tough because when you have thick legs like me, I struggle to place that foot completely on the floor while keeping the right hip bone on the floor as well. So yeah, this is quite a tough one for me, but you can tell that doing a twist like this, it's terrible for the spine. It shouldn't be allowed. Okay. Untangle yourself. Obviously, you can also do that on your knees. So on the knees, it means on the top of the feet, on the toes, completely like this, like that. Always 4 possibilities, right? And you can always try a twist. So if you don't have a chair, if you don't have the mat, the floor, a piece of limb available, you can also use your own clothing. So I always twist from here. I'm gonna try this one for a change. So I press the left hand on the outside of the right thigh, and then my right hand is grabbing my leggings like this, and I pull and I open. And I make sure that on the inhale, I lengthen the spine, and on the exhale, I go further without bringing the shoulder closer to my ear. Very good. I hope you're following at the same time as I explain. And exhale. See, can you feel that on the exhale, suddenly you have more space in your belly? Okay. If you've gone far, take your time to come back. Never rush it. I hope it's obvious, but it doesn't cost anything to say so. Also on the knees, what you can do is thread the needle. That good old thread the needle. So you start from tabletop. Let's start with the right hand up and right arm down on the mat. Side of the head on the mat. Bring the left arm up and behind the back. If it's comfortable enough for you like this, stay like this. No issues. If you want to go further, you can use that hand on the floor, so the right one, to press your shoulder and bring it towards the ceiling, or at least behind. It's going to force a bit more the twist. Don't go beyond the pain. Never do. It's not worth it. And then to come back, you bring the right hand back on the floor, left hand next to your face, you press the floor, and you free the right arm. I'm not gonna change so you see the other side, but I'm going to do the other side like this. So left arm up and down, right arm up and behind, and you bring, you can, maybe you can reach that. If you can't, it's fine. So you catch with your right hand, you catch the inside of your left thigh. Yes. It's possible. For some of you, it's going to be super easy. For some, it's going to be impossible. It's fine. We're all different. We all have amazing bodies that allow us to do many things. So let's be grateful for that. And if you want to go further, you can press the left hand on the right shoulder and go further. And breathe. Very good. Release the left hand. Release the right next to your face. Press the floor. Very good. So that was for the on the knees. part. The last position we have to cover is on the back. So you can make your way on your back. We're definitely going to cover the different options we have. So the easiest, according to me, you're allowed to disagree and to correct me on that if you have a different experience. I'm not saying it's the truth, it's just my experience. I find that bringing both knees together, so you see, I have the lower back is arched, I neutralize the pelvis, very good, please do the same. You catch your knees, you're roughly at the good position, you can massage the lower back, it's always nice. 3 times the other way. And both knees come on the floor like this. So to the left, and the right arm opens up, and this is already a very good stretch. The head turns to the right. At the same time, you try to bring your knees and the right shoulder towards the floor. And you breathe. I usually start with this twist because it's a passive one, because in this position, the gravity is helping us. And so we have to take advantage of that for the few times it does. And okay, so let's come back slowly because we're gonna do so many on the floor. So to come back, bring the right arm on top of the left, and then you bring the legs towards the ceiling like this, the knees towards the ceiling. You go on the other side of the mat. The higher you're going to bring the knees, the more intense the twist is going to be. If you keep the knees like this and you bring the knees down, it's almost for the hip flexors. But if you bring the knees higher, then you're really going to stretch here the side of the lower back. Don't just believe what I say, try it and experience by yourself, because that's my experience from my body and most of the bodies I teach. But there's always exceptions. So once again, this may not be the truth. It's only my experience. What I do is I use the right hand here to add some more weight onto the knee, so I can bring the knees closer to the floor, and at the same time, I work on that shoulder to get closer also to the floor. But this is almost too easy. I don't feel very much any stretch. So the next one you can do, neutralize the lower back always. So, I mean, it's the straight spine, right? That we always try to achieve when we are sitting. So the next one, we cross the legs like this. We bring the knees up and we go down, both knees down, right arm out. It's already a bit more difficult. If you're a teacher and you see your students having some issues during the class and it pulls too much in the shoulder, you can always place a block underneath their wrist or elbow. I'm gonna show you that side. So try both sides, knees up and down. And you see here, I'm not touching the floor exactly. So you place the block like this, and here, actually now I've been breathing enough, so I can touch the floor, it's fine. But you see, I'm playing with bringing the knee down and the shoulder at the same time. If one of them, the shoulder or the knee, is already on the floor, there's no leverage. So it's better they are both hanging in the air, and together on the exhale, I bring them both closer to the floor. And here I really feel here in the lower back, it's an amazing stretch then. Okay, slowly, let's come back. So both arms on top of each other, and then you roll back on the back. The most classic one is one knee up, the other leg straight on the floor, and you bring the knee towards the floor, and the opposite arm also on the floor. Here in this position, I recommend to put the foot on the floor at least, and if you put the foot and the knee on the floor, you see my shoulder and the whole arm is so high that I don't have the leverage. So it's better to keep the knee slightly off the floor, the foot on the floor, definitely touching. And then you play with this momentum. You use the gravity. And most important, you use your breath. So people would say the most important here is to look opposite of your knees. That helps actually to bring the shoulder closer to the floor. But to me, the breath is the most important. Okay, slowly to come back. Both arms on top of each other. This is probably one of my favorite positions. Whenever my lower back hurts, I do it. And I noticed that when I used to go to the chiropractor or physio or whatever, this is always the movement they would make me do since I'm, I don't know, 15 years old. So, and weirdly enough, this is also the movement I find people need to be taught properly how to do, because when I make them feel how good it can feel, then they are like, okay, I need to know how to do that by myself. And I want to be able to relieve the tension by myself, which is amazing. I mean, that's the goal of yoga. So if this is something that you feel is good for you, if you feel you can master for yourself the different options and feelings you can have, and I hope maybe you're a teacher yourself, or you just want to help your relatives or your friends, and you can just help them and teach them how to get into that relief, because this is such a gift. I have so many students that need this, really. I'm listing in the description all the conditions and the benefits it does to do this stretch, so you can have you can take notes of that. It's truly amazing. Okay, slowly come back, both arms on top of each other, and then you roll onto your back. Now, in case you have some hyper flexible student, and most of them are kids, this is not doing anything for them. Like they twist and they're like, yeah, don't feel anything. Well, then I have the exercise for you. You make them lie on their belly like this. Couple of breaths, settling in, and then you tell them to bring both their arms onto the same side, keeping the hips on the mat, head on the block or on the floor, and then you open up one arm towards the ceiling, trying to keep both hips down. I'm not that hyper flexible, so it doesn't look like much, but you will see them, they go like, oh yes, finally I feel something, and you're like, Anyways, that's a funny feeling, but that's also for very specific occasions. Let me do the other side, otherwise I'm gonna feel out of balance. Actually, it's very intense and quite good, and it's easier for me like this on that side than on the other. Okay, slowly come back. Both arms on top of each other. Okay, so that was not really a flow, that was more of a, I call it special target. I have a playlist on my channel for this. So this one is the twists, right? And I hope you like this type of video. I hope that I was able to take you through that twist journey. I hope that you feel confident enough now to practice twists when you feel like you need it, and that you're confident enough to realize the twists and to make them your own, and you practice that safely, keeping the spine straight. And I hope you understood and you felt strongly enough the twist with your breath. So you don't come back to this video. I mean, you can always come back to that video, that's why it's here, but I hope it's strong enough in your mind now, so you know exactly how to breathe, so you can go further and relieve any lower back pain. All right. For any other specific target, here is the playlist. And if you like my way of teaching, please do subscribe. Have a nice day. Cheers.